My name is Judith Carrillo. I'm from Santana. I go to Segerstrom High School, and I'm from Corochacri Circle. It's basically a circle of women, young women, who just talk and kind of like, get together and just reflect about, their week and talk about new subjects that maybe other women aren't comfortable talking about. But, like it's a reality or, struggles or pressures that you have as a young woman in our community and, in Santana and in the U.S. Sometimes as women, like, especially like in school, when we talk about sex, it's like a very hush hush topic, so we're not allowed to talk about it. But then, you start to notice that like people are getting sexually active and they don't know, like, yeah, they know about STDs, they know about HIV, they know about like, all these like major things, but they don't know like that prevention isn't just like knowing about them and not, you have to like prevent it, like knowing your own body. And a lot of girls are like, like they feel like they're embarrassed, like, no, I can't be like knowing about stuff. They feel like, their period is disgusting, and they use really harsh words to having like menstrual cycles. So I feel like that's one of the hugest like topics that we've been talking about, like just knowing yourself as like a woman, knowing like the changes in your body.
My name is Jonathan. I'm a senior at Valley High School. The organization that I'm in is Boys and Men of Color, Youth Empower Network, and I'm also involved in Street Scholars. Respecting the Street Scholars, like, it's to change Santa Ana, to make it into a nice place to live in, because it's seen as a crime city, and I don't like that.
My name is George. I go to Carr Intermediate. I'm an 8th grader. I come from BMOC and and Street Scholars. What makes me interested in BMOC is that I know Santa Ana might be pretty messed up, but there's also good things in it, lots of good things. And BMOC is one of them, It's a group of organization of youth and adults that come together to help out their own neighborhood, their own city.
My name is Oscar Garcia. I go to the academy. I'm involved with BMOC and Street Scholars. One of the issues is racial profiling. So, when cops stop people and, just because somebody's like brown or black, they think that they're like a criminal, when in reality, that person's like is trying to work hard to get some money to feed their own family.
It's Anthony Balbuena, and I go to Lauren Grissett Academy. I'm a part of BMOC, Boys and Men of Color, Street Scholar. Be straight up, the way I got into BMOC, I started out with Yen. I used to have I had a criminal past where I got probation, and I found that this program called KidWorks had a program where I could go into called Yen, Youth Empowerment Network, which my friend Jonathan Garcia was the one that took me there. And I thank him because I was able to accomplish my hours. And from there on, I just kept on going because I noticed that their plans and things that they're doing was actually pretty good for the community. So I was like, I want to get more involved with this, Well, some of the goals for BMOC that we have right now is getting the gang injunction that's going on. And I do know a couple gang members, which I ain't gonna reveal, but I could tell you this, they're just regular, normal people like everyone else. They ain't trying to cause any trouble or any harm. They're just trying to live a life, but I guess not everyone has the perfect life, So they're always just gonna try to fit in with the wrong crowd, when later on they're gonna be regretting it, because they're just trying to find their path into becoming a better person. And I think BMOC is gonna be a big influence in that, because later on our goals and the strategies that we're gonna do is gonna start making a change in our own community, starting by doing it in Townsend Street.
My name is Jesus Santana, and I was born here. I'm a U.S. citizen, but I come from a family descent that's from Mexico, Guerrero. Of my 8 siblings, I'm the only one who was born here. I was fortunate to be the only one who, had the chance to have papers, which here in this country is important for a lot of things. Raíz stands for Resistencia, Autonomía, Igualdad, and Liderazgo. Resistencia meaning that we resist those who oppress us. equality and igualdad means that we're all equal, we're all allowed to share ideas without being judged. Liderazgo, it represents us. We're leaders in our community. We like to share our ideas, inform youth to help them out and learn about like things that are going on in our community. And autonomía, it shows that we act for our own. We act for our own ideas. We don't want to be told when to act. We act when we want to.
My name is Aiko Celeste. I was born in Cuernavaca, Morelos. Some issues that growing up I know were really a problem were being undocumented in school actually, because I went to a school where the majority wasn't Latinos. It was actually majority white students. So the resources for undocumented students there wasn't really available. So what I really witnessed was, some of my fellow classmates who were undocumented, they were just like, they already gave up on themselves because they were undocumented. They felt that, why should I try to get good grades or take AP classes or apply to college if I'm not going to have the money or resources to go to college.
My name is Brenda Vasquez. I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco. And I remember the first time I brought up, the whole I don't have a social or I'm undocumented, was because they were having a meeting about talking about college and getting you ready for college. And then when they asked to fill out papers, they asked you for your social. And I remember I said I didn't have a social. And then I remember everyone just looking at me kind of like, what are you, where are you coming from? And so I remember I was talking to one of my teachers that she was white, and she asked me what I wanted to do when I was, what I was planning on doing. And so when I told her that I want to go to medical school, she just told me, well, the immigrants, that if you don't have a social, you can't go to medical school, right? She's like, so you might want to start looking into something else.
Well, immigration and police brutality and education are all interconnected. Okay, so recently we've actually held a press conference to address publicly the information that is being shared between ICE and the probation officers when a minor goes through probation or gets in trouble with the school police or something. And we've come out publicly to demand that they stop doing it. The people who in the schools and the police department themselves are already labeling the youth as trouble and are already giving up on them, because I feel like with this whole gang injunction, even if you're affiliated with someone, a cousin or brother, if he's in a gang, then you're already guilty by association.
My name is Madeline Deaguero. I am born and raised in Orange County. I've been involved with Youth in Power Act through the Centro C since June of 2013. When I was growing up in the school system, I had lots of trouble with bullying and identity issues. I did not come out as queer until I was 16 years old, even though I knew for a long time I didn't come out to myself and others until I was 16 years old. I ended up not going to a conventional high school setting because I didn't feel comfortable in that type of environment. I ended up testing out of high school early and then starting community college because I didn't feel safe really in school, and that's kind of what led me to the work that I do with Youth Empowered to Act, because I feel like no one should have to be in the type of situation where they're bullied or feel uncomfortable just being themselves in a setting where all youth are supposed to be in, which is school.
My name is Tony Ortuño, and so for me, growing up was being undocumented. There were stigmas and stereotypes, just I think like being queer has, but the overlap of that I didn't come to understand until I came out and accepted my own identity in college. And now that I have the privilege of working at an LGBT center and I hear the narratives and the stories of like the youth that I work with, I realize and put into perspective my own experience as well, as an undocumented person, and know that like the bullying that happened and the way Madeline framed it was not only for a specific one identity kind of bullying, but it's really all across the board for folks who have to go and face these kind of interactions with people who have stereotypes and who have stigmas of their other communities outside of their own. I think we're really building a queer youth movement that will at some point really start some great, we're doing great things, but I think we will continue to do great things even outside of the educational system, which is our focus at this point. That I think that's where we're getting to, and we're really building leaders and building people who are accepting of themselves, I think, because outside of the laws, like your identity exists individually, and it's great to empower yourself through that, and we really believe that because that's the work that we're doing. But we also really believe in self-empowerment through that identity.